NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is delivered by UPS. Thanks, Dale Jarrett, for 7 unforgettable years. It's been a great ride, Dale.
UPS delivers up-to-the-minute race information at foxsports.com, keyword Fox Tracks. Next week, we go to one of NASCAR's fastest tracks, definitely the South's fastest track. That's Atlanta Motor Speedway, where the foot rarely comes off the throttle. .1:30 Eastern Time from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Be there. Jeff Hammond for more on some of the safety features incorporated into these Sprint Cup cars.
Well, Mike, we've been talking about it all day long, basically all weekend long, about the multiple crashes a lot of these drivers have sustained. And the way they're able to walk away from it, Larry McReynolds brought it up, it has to be, you know, a really good safety helmet as well as the head and neck restrainer, commonly known as the Hans, which allows that helmet to be tethered to the top of the shoulders in event of a hard crash, which we've already seen several of those recently. Everybody watched the one with Tony Stewart a few minutes ago and saw how vicious that crash was. Now, we talked about the capsulated interior of these race cars. Look at our Ford Fusion and look inside of it. We have one of those Randy LaJoie seats here with the restraints that you can see that hold the driver securely in the seat in the event of a crash. But the thing that you really want to notice is how this really wraps around the driver. You've got rib supports, you've got head supports, you've got the lower part of the seat here really is custom made to fit the driver's torso and run all the way down to the pedals and protect his legs to keep it where they don't flop around. All of these things are designed to make this as safe as possible. And guys, we've seen some pretty vicious crashes all weekend long, and from the start of the season, this is one of the reasons why some of these guys can walk away and have an opportunity to race tomorrow.
Jeff,
Mike?
when I think about Tony Stewart, I think about, I think it was 06, when he had those back-to-back Saturday, Sunday accidents at Charlotte, which led to having to get Ricky Rudd to step in and relief drive for him for a few races. So that's the downside to racing on Saturday. Come back and have an incident like that on Sunday.
Getting set for this restart, Darrell. There you see Ryan Newman in 11th. Carl Edwards hasn't made a lot of ground since his pit road penalty. He's up to 12th place in the 99. Martin Truex in the 70 of Jeremy Mayfield, having a good top 15 run.
I think it just shows, though, Mike, when you're back in traffic, how difficult it is to get around. These cars are so equal. Once you get out front, you're all right, but in traffic, a little more tough.
Well, he's going to restart 12th with all the lap down cars. It's like restarting 24th at the beginning of a race.
18 lead lap cars as we go back to green. You know, Matt Kenseth just makes it look easy. They're all jumbled up behind him. He's just driving away.
Yeah, there's one thing I can tell you right now. That 17 isn't hurting for motor because he's getting up off turn 2 over there.
Absolutely not.
And, you know, back a few years ago, we'd say, well, he's got a lower gear. But, of course, everybody here has got pretty much the same gear. You got 2 choices. They're pretty close together.
You're riding with Jeff Gordon, about 0.4 of a second behind the leader. Krista?
Remember early in the race when he was talking about how loose his race car was? Well, back around lap 100, he said he was a little loose getting into turn 1, but everywhere else was great. It just started to get loose again. They made a small air pressure adjustment on that last stop. Remember, Jeff Gordon won here in 2001. He's riding a streak of 3 straight top 5s. But he reminded me before the race started, hey, this is a whole new car. We're not focused on the track as much as we are on this new car.
He might want to be focused on his mirror because I haven't seen a driver so motivated to win at a track since Kyle Busch came home to Las Vegas this week.
Yeah, he's up on the wheel. We know that for sure, but he is every week, so nothing new about that. But motivation here is you're in your own backyard. That's a lot of motivation. He'd love to go back over that little school he was at the other day and say, hey, I brought y'all a trophy to look at.
And he did say certainly the Daytona 500 is on his radar, talking about Kyle Busch, but more so than anything, winning at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, his home track.
I don't know what switch they flipped or what magic wand they got out and waved over him, but his temperament is so much better this year than it was last year. Just his overall attitude and his approach to racing is just so much more mature this year.
Riding with Jeff Burton in the 31 car back in the 5th position. Looking at the 4th place car, Greg Biffle in the 16. Again, Greg seems to have a pretty good race car on that long run.
But Larry, you mentioned the 9 car, and he has been hanging right there with these leaders. If he could ever get that lap back, he might be somebody to have to contend with.
Right now he's battling Denny Hamlin in the 11, trying to be that first car to get the free pass. Now who is Horton?
You didn't read Dr. Seuss as a kid?
I didn't, I guess.
It's okay. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is now the 6th place car, 3.7 seconds back of the lead, Matt.
Well, Mike Dale Earnhardt Jr., like a lot of other drivers, just trying to find that balance. It's almost like being on a fence. One adjustment sends you one way, and you just shuffle the problem from one end of the corner to the other. But he says, basically, my car starts out tight, then it goes neutral. Right now, though, he says after about 15 laps in a run, the car really comes in.
Well, I tell you, it's going to be time for these guys to get the right adjustments, because we are quickly approaching the 100 to go lap mark. We're lap 112 to go now.